Hey, what's up, my peoples? I'm back here again with a Droid Factory 2-pack for the 40th anniversary of Star Wars Episode. Well, when it was originally released, it was Episode 1, but now it's called Episode 4, A New Hope, and it is a 2-pack of C-3PO and R2-D2. And if you hear something in the background, that's my fan. Right there. It's my fan. It is really hot in here, so let's just get right to it. And before we take a look at R2 and 3PO, we'll take a quick look at the packaging that they come in. So moving them off to the side, here we have a couple of blue spaces and then the bubbles for R2 and 3PO. When you're opening this pack, they are packaged in individual bubbles. Like you see here, I'm pulling out R2's, but 3PO's is still in place, so just wanted to make you aware of that. And right up top here, you see R2-D2, C-3PO. You got a picture of them in A New Hope. Star Wars, Droid Factory, 40th anniversary, Disney logos, all that kind of stuff on the front. Oh, and on the back of the box, or the packaging rather, you have Star Wars Droid Factory, the description right there if you want to read it. If you want to read it, go ahead, pause it. There you go. Nice picture of R2 and 3PO there, R2-D2, C-3PO, R2-D2, price tag, and blah 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 blah. And I do like this design for R2 and 3PO though. That's really cool. And that's basically it for the packaging. So let's bring these guys back in here so we can move right along as 3PO almost falls over. But here we have R2-D2 and C-3PO, and very cool 2-pack. Now, there is a bit of a funny story behind this. I originally was going to pass on this pack when I saw it at Star Wars Weekends, although I decided to go ahead and pick it up because I needed a movie 3PO. I do not have a movie 3PO. The only 3PO I have is from the Clone Wars right here. So we'll make a quick comparison there because, I already compared the two in my review of 3PO from the Clone Wars. So, yeah, I guess we'll go over C-3PO, oh wait, I didn't finish the story, sorry, my brain is, jumping from thing to thing, but, thing to thing, but anyway, yeah, I didn't have a, I did not have a movie-styled 3PO yet, and I saw this pack, and I thought, at first I thought I didn't need it because I had so many R2s in the 3 3/4 inch scale that I did not need another one, and I really needed 3PO and that was it, but I saw it again at Disney's Hollywood Studios after I rode Star Tours, and I saw this pack again, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I'll get it. Because I really do like the sandy wash on these droids. I mean, it's a bit hard to see on 3PO, but as opposed to R2, but he does have a sandy wash, which we'll go over. We will go over when we get to when we talk about the paint apps. Sorry, I have to crack my knuckles. Yeah, so that's how I got this pack in. Another thing, too, is that the guy that sold me, my mom paid for it, but basically the guy that had these figures right here, as well as my next review, Chopper, and the Clone Wars Droid Factory 4-pack, which included 5 R5 units, or 5 R5 units, 3 R5 units, and 1 R2 unit. He said the guy that sold us these basically said that they were not going to be available until like I think June or something. But it turns out, I saw not only these, but I saw R2-D2, which is basically just a red 3PO right here. I also saw the Clone Wars Astromech 4-pack, and I found Chopper there, although I did not get R2-D2 period because I have no interest in him. Although if I do decide to get him, I'll get him off eBay or something. And they had R2 and 3PO, then they had Chopper, and they had the Clone Wars Astromech 4-pack, which these two I got at a Celebration, and then Chopper and the Clone Wars Astromechs I got at Celebration. So anyway, and like I said, R2-D2 I have no interest in. So, but let's take a look at 3PO first. So right up front here, very nice head sculpt. It looks very much like C-3PO, and you got some nice paint apps for his eyes. You got the yellow, you got the black for the pupils, you got the kind of vocabulator picked out in black, and if you see here, there are sculpted lines in the eyes, which looks really, really cool. I do like that. And he has the sandy wash going all around him. It's very apparent on the silver leg, but on all the gold it kind of blends in, which is unfortunate, but it's there. You just have to look at it up close. But yeah. And I do like how his midsection has all these sculpted and painted wires. That's really, really cool. I do like that. So, yeah. Now, as far as his articulation goes, he has a swivel head that can be popped off, swivel shoulders that, again, can be popped off. Basically, the limbs that can be popped off are the head, the arms up to the shoulders, and then the legs up to the thighs, or the hips, rather. So, yeah, you can take them apart and mix and match parts with 3PO and some other protocol droid figures that use the Build-A-Droid design. But anyway, he has ball-hinged elbows, which bend that far and down that far, which is to be expected. I mean, Anthony Daniels could hardly move in the suit anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. He has swivel wrists, more of a ball hinge torso, because you can't really get some torso pivot. Although there's like I wouldn't really count that, but you can have him looking up, you can have him looking down a little, and you can rotate him, so it's definitely a ball hinge torso. He has swivel hips, which can go forward that far and back that far, which, is enough. Ball hinge knees, which bend in that far back, and for some reason can bend forward if you wanted to break his knee or something. And he has ball hinged ankles, so they can move down pretty good, up fantastically, and you can swivel his feet at the ankles. So there you have 3PO, and for comparison, here he is with 3PO from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I can get a good grip on him. But as you can see, two different styles. Obviously, this is for the movie, obviously, and this is for the Clone Wars. Although this one is a bit more articulated, but then again, this one isn't a Build-A-Droid. But you can see that because this is from the Clone Wars, he has two gold legs, whereas in the original trilogy, he has a silver leg, which I don't get why. If someone could point out why 3PO has a silver leg instead of a gold one in the original trilogy, I'd really much appreciate it. So, but there you have that. And I mean, you already know how they scale, but here he is with R2-D2 from the same pack. So there you have that. And now that we're done with 3PO, we can take a look at his counterpart, R2-D2. So, again, you know, it's the basic R2 design, you know, R2 series design with the white at the body and the silver at the dome, with the blue panels, so it's nothing too special, although he is different compared to the, hold on. Sorry about that, that was my mother, and, thankfully she waited until after I said come in to answer and everything like that, so, but, here is, the new Build-A-Droid design for R2 compared to the old Build-A-Droid design for R2, which came in the, excuse me, well, this version was from Hasbro, and it was in the Royal Starship Droids Battle Pack with, oh, let me just show you. It came, he came with R2 and 3, R2-R9, which is the red-bodied one, and R2-B1. So, there you have that. But you can see, not only are the shades of blue different, obviously, and this one's dirty and this one's clean, but if you take a look at the body and the legs, the old Build-A-Droid mold had the ports on the side of the leg for added customization for whatever reason, which would look kind of dumb for an astromech, but hey, you can do it. It's a thing you can do. But sorry, I got a little itchy on my back. But yeah, I mean, they still have the same wheels, and the legs are extremely different because these legs are universal, so you can put on 2 rights or 2 lefts and not have to worry about, worry about the inaccuracies. And with the old Build-A-Droid mold, you had to, it wasn't universal, so it allowed for the cables being on the feet, only the brackets being on the front and not the back of the power cells, and some, just some extra shoulder detail, which I do miss these legs on these, but, it's still nice that they're universal, so you can have them on either side and it not matter, so, but, just real quick, you can also kind of see the differences in the torsos, so, there you have that. Obviously, the noticeable one is the holes on the side not being there on this one, where it is on this one, so. But, I don't think the domes are different, except for the hole at the top. I do believe, other than that, they are the same. But, there you have that. Just get a quick look at the back. And, not too many differences, but, it is a little different. But, yeah, there you have that. So I'll just quickly put him back in his power harness, which, is this thing right here. So, oh, and I bumped the camera. How dare I? I don't know if you noticed, but I did. But, yeah, so there's that. And, you can remove the third leg to have R2 stand up like so. And, he has the basic astromech articulation. The dome rotates all around, which is very smooth. The swivel joint is very smooth on the dome, and you can actually, since it is a Build-A-Droid, pop it off, and you can see a bunch of wiring and motors and stuff like that, which is really, really cool. Then there's the inside of the dome, which is nothing too special. And you have swivel shoulders and hinged ankles. So, there you have that. And he does have wheels on the bottom. on the bottom of his legs, so you can proceed to put him in his tripod stance, and he will roll around. So, there you have that, and, yeah, really decent 2-pack, I do like it, you know, R2 is the white with the blue is actually a dark metallic blue, which is really cool, and, you know, some silvers, and one thing that is inaccurate is that the rear processor state indicator is red and not yellow, but, you know, whatever. It doesn't bother me too terribly much, and if it does, I can just fix it, because I am a customizer, so. But, yeah, all in all, very good 2-pack, and if you are a fan of these two droids, I highly recommend it, especially if you don't have any versions of these guys, and you need an R2 and a 3PO in this scale. This is perfect. One thing I do wish that R2 had was a couple of panels that opened, because Hasbro was able to do this on the Clone Wars R7-D4, and obviously if you go back to watch the review of him and R7-A7, which is this droid, you can see that even though R7 here is a Build-A-Droid, he still has the opening panels with the tools, and I don't get why they couldn't have incorporated it into the body. I mean, yeah, it looks a lot more, you know, it doesn't look so, I guess, gappy and big and all that kind of stuff, but, you know, it still would be nice, because these guys are not very cheap, they are pretty expensive, and I just think some added playability would be, you know, really cool, so. Anyway, that's my little gripe with the Build-A-Droids, but other than that, they are really, really cool. And just for a quick comparison, or a couple quick comparisons, here he is with R2-D2, which is the droid I made when it was the last Star Wars Weekends event. So it's unfortunate that Star Wars Weekends ended, but then again, you know, they're bringing in Star Wars Land, so that should make up for the lack of Star Wars Weekend events. So, as you can see, he does have the R6 series head, which is one of my favorite heads, because it combines the R2 and R5 heads. But I'll be doing I might do a separate review on this guy and give him and tell you the backstory of him that I gave him and all that kind of stuff. So there you have that. And as you can see, you know, usual R-series looking body and legs. And here he is with the droid I'm going to be reviewing next, Chopper. As you can see, he is taller than Chopper, as he should be. But they are the same width. But, yeah. Very cool. And, if you're a fan of Star Wars Rebels, I highly recommend getting this Droid Factory Chopper, because I was not expecting this. This was an amazing surprise. So, but, you know what, we'll also bring in 3PO, because he did kind of try to break up the fight between R2 and Chopper, so let's kind of end it off with R2 kind of, or with 3PO kind of fussing at R2 for messing around with Chopper. So there we have that. But yeah, very cool 2-pack. I highly recommend it. If just to even keep carded, I mean, you don't even have to open it for them to be awesome. Like, if you leave them on the card, it makes for a great display piece. But obviously I had to open it because, one, I don't have the movie 3PO yet, and 2, because I like to open my toys. You know, that's what you're really supposed to do. I mean, I understand some people have carded collections, which, you know, is fine, it's a good and everything, but honestly, toys are meant to be opened and at least posed around with, if not played with. So anyway, that's pretty much it. So there is the R2-D2 and C-3PO 40th Anniversary Droid Factory 2-pack, and I'll be back with Chopper up next. And again, I'm sorry if the last videos have been kind of slanted or tilted or whatever. I'm still getting used to this tripod full of ball joints, which I may show off sooner or later. So anyway, yeah, so that's it for these two, and I'll be back with Chopper next. See ya.